Alrighty, welcome back. Today we are going to be going over the best teams and builds for Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, LRG4, the king of Dokkan, all of the fun words, anything you want to say for him, that is what we are going to be talking about today. Now, before we get started, this is not going to be like the last best teams video I did where we have like engaging graphics and stuff like that, because that is not the purpose of this specific video. Those ones are more catered to like what are the best teams in the game at the moment, while this one is centered around like what categories should you be running this Gogeta 4 on, right? So I hope that makes sense. Don't want you guys to think that the video is something else, right? I just want to go over like where you should be running this guy and the options that you should be using on those teams. And when we have a little bit more time to use the characters, I need to get a little more experience with Omega. We might actually have to use the private server for Omega because my summons have not been great for this part 2, unfortunately. So leave an F in the chat for your boy. But we'll be doing the updated like best teams graphics. I'll get in talks with my graphics guy and we'll make that really nice for you guys. So just want to say that before we get started, this is not going to be like the Havohei format that I did last time, because that's just not what this video is. It's just going to be talking about like where you should be running this Gogeta 4. So long intro out of the way. With all that being said, if you find this video helpful, you pulled Gogeta or you're going to use your tickets for him, go ahead and leave a like on this video. It helps grow the channel and I greatly appreciate it. So first things first, rest in peace, Uncle Phil. But first team that I want to talk about, the obvious one, right? GT Heroes. We have an interesting setup, I think, with GT Heroes, and this team has a ton of potential. It's kind of like Potential Man, if you will, when you just kind of look at the overall big picture of it right now, where we actually have a pretty solid core lineup with this specific category, where you have Gogeta 4, you have the Golden Week TUR EZAs right here that are actually pretty good. We've got Super Saiyan 4, Goku, and Vegeta, and then we have Pan, which ironically all 5 of the units lead the team. So if you are unfortunately not in possession of Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta yet, you could run this guy as a leader. You could run one of these two as a leader. You could even run Pan as a leader if you are desperate, but you're probably better off running another team if you are running Pan as a leader right now. You know, Pan is really good for a support character, and she is absolutely incredible on this team, but she's not meant to be a leader, right? We are in the days of 250% HP stat leads, so cutting that in half essentially is not what we're looking for with this Pan as a leader. But when we go into the actual team itself, this is one that I think actually, because it's so centric of part 2, has a ton of potential to get even better. Now, they showed us that in total, we're going to be getting 7 characters that are going to be getting some form of an EZA buff during the celebration. So we're talking about characters like Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Vegeta. The old ones right here are going to be getting their Super EZAs. And then this is actually not where Omega is going to be. But then when we also look like this guy right here in Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, being on the Omega banner, likely points to him being getting an EZA as well. Then we have some of the other EZAs. They're basically just EZAing this whole category, essentially, right? If we had like that old image. This guy, unfortunately, so if we look at this character right here, he's going to be getting an EZA, and that might sound cool and all, but there's a huge problem with this character, and it's this right here. So for those of you who are new, this is what we call a nuking lead. And the problem with nuking leads is they intentionally ban this character for being used in events because of the fact that he has a way to set up like a potential one-shot setup, which the game does not want you doing. So in theory, what you would do is like run this guy as a leader, get as many STR orbs that you can get with like when you know, year 2 Goku gets his Super EZA, right? And he grabs 23 red orbs or STR key spheres, whatever you want to call them, right? And then he does like a 700 million attack stat 3 times, crits on all of them, and then one-shots the boss. The game doesn't want you doing that because they want the events to be difficult, so they do not let you bring those leads in to avoid nuking, because when they do give these nuking events out, that is what people do. So just keep that in mind. But GT Heroes right now, I'd say the optimal setup is Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta as your leader. You'd want to run the Golden Week TURs, this Super Saiyan 4 Goku, this Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, and then Pan, right? Basically this whole top row right here, this is going to be the best way to run the team. And there's also some potential with this team in the future because of the fact that this guy, these guys are going to be getting their EZA in about I'm not going to do weeks, but about 7 months. I know that is way too far away to really matter right now, but if GT Heroes is still good by then, these guys are going to be a very nice inclusion on there. So the first team, GT Heroes, this is one that is the easiest and most, like, I would say the most synergy-wise team that you're going to want to, the most synergetic team, if you will, right, for the Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, and is definitely going to be one of the better options that you can be running. Now, if we look at some other teams, we'll kind of stay in the GT confines here. We will look at Giant Ape Power. Now, with Giant Ape Power, it's very simple. You have this leader right here, and you are good to go. Now, we also need to be considering the buff for our boy Gogeta here. We need 2 or more GT hero category allies on the squad to get the guaranteed additionals here, and then the extra defensive support for 4 turns. You really want to make sure you're getting that, right? It makes him just a whole other animal, and it just overall just makes him better. So, pretty simple. You run this guy as the lead, you bring this guy, right? And then you bring these 3 characters right here, and you're covered. So, the best GT here, or Giant Ape Power setup right now is going to look something like this. Super Saiyan 3 Goku and this Gogeta as one of your rotations, and then you'd want to run Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta and or Vegeta Giant Ape, and then another one of this Super Saiyan 3 Goku right here, and then you just have like a core 6. This is definitely going to be the best option for you, but if we're looking at alternatives in the future, you have limited, or like right now, you have the limited time buffs for Super Saiyan 4 Goku, Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, and then you've also got the Super Easy A's on the way for these Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Vegeta characters down here. So this is also going to be a very nice setup for Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. One that is also going to be getting buffed in the future, right? Assuming that Super Saiyan 4 Daima Goku fits the same sort of mold, if you will, and they do put him on Giant Ape Power, which they should, right? I mean, like, his arms are meant to represent a monkey, right? Like, that's like the whole idea. So hopefully they aren't silly and they put him on this category, and maybe he ends up leading it as well, and then that's just another setup for Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. And if we go based off the timeline, if he comes out for Tanabata, it means he's a newer LR, and in a perfect world, he actually ends up being better, and that's like the best rotation in the game. That would be really fun. So Giant Ape Power, another really, really good team for Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. Very easy to have synergy, very easy to get your GT heroes, and you'll be able to take care of that all fine and dandy. Next up on the list, right, when we talk about some of the best teams for this guy right here, is going to be the Fused Fighters team. Now, Fused Fighters, where this one gets a little bit tricky, is that GT Hero ally, right? Because you just don't have as many GT Hero options, where this setup in specific is just not going to be as good. Because if we look at the passive, it's got to be 2 or more GT Hero category allies, right? So I believe you would need to have 3 in total, because the wording there is sort of funky. So the way that you would set this up is you would run these 2 right here would be like your starting rotation, right? And then you would have the year 7 Goku Vegeta right here as well, the Super Saiyan Gods version. Then you'd run Tech Vegito, and your leader would probably be your boy STR Blue Goku and Vegeta, right? Because this is a very good slot 1 character that does all the dodging and whatnot. So he's going to be able to hold it down for you pretty well. Now, where this gets tricky and where this team will get a lot better here soon is when our boy Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, was he on the first page? Did I just miss him? No, because these are easy A's. This is always kind of tricky to do sometimes. See, this category is crazy. When this guy gets his easy A, this team is going to get a whole lot better for Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. So what you would do is you would run Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, and then you would also run the year 7 LRs. You'd run Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta right here, and then you'd also run Tech Vegito. That would give you 5, and then you'd run STR Goku Vegeta right here, and that would give you 6. Right, so this is a really good setup, and if you were looking for potential alternatives, you have the year 1 Super Easy A Gogeta, this version of Vegito right here. Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks is an okay option. A last resort option right here would be like Tech Gogeta. He'd be decent for you. This Vegito Blue Easy A is pretty good, or Super Easy A is pretty good, right? So you have options on this team. Rose, I'd probably stay away from on this setup, but you definitely can run this Rose without his full passive, and he still works out just fine. So at least keep that in mind. I think that this team can work out pretty well. So Fused, I'm getting Legends pilled right now. Fused Fighters, not Fusion Warriors. This is going to be like the best way to run, one of the best ways to run this guy, and he's just going to work very well, especially if Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta ends up getting his Easy A. That's going to be very helpful for this guy, just based on the fact that he will have what you're looking for in terms of getting the full passive, right? Getting these 2 or more GT category allies, because you're not going to run fused fighters and then this guy as a friend lead, right? Because he's just for GT heroes. So when we say we didn't want GT heroes as the lead, that is why. I mean, GT heroes is fine because it looks like the team is going to get really good, and running 2 of this guy is really fun. But again, there was a reason why we were hoping for like Power Beyond Super Saiyan or Time Limit or something, because he would be a little bit more fusion centric rather than GT heroes. But it is what it is, not the end of the world. Now, speaking of Power Beyond Super Saiyan, I also think this is a very good setup for this guy. It's going to sort of give you what you're looking for like GT heroes and stuff like that. It's going to be a very similar setup where, is this Power Beyond? Yeah, it's Power Beyond Super Saiyan. Where the hell is the, yeah, right there. So the way that this one would kind of work is you would probably run the Tech LR Gods as a leader, or you could just run this as like fused fighters, because this team has a ton of overlap. But in theory, if you were missing some of these characters and you had just Gogeta and the Tech Gods, I think this is a good category for you to run this character on, because you'd easily be able to cover the bases with GT heroes. So you would have the Tech Gods as a leader, and then you would run Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, STR Blue Goku Vegeta if you have them, right? The Year 7s right here. You can get away with Rose, the gods themselves, Super Saiyan 3 Goku right here, because the Super Saiyan 4 Goku, you know what I'm saying. And this team, the only thing you're really missing with this team is the Year 10 LRs, so that's where things do get a little bit tricky, because almost anywhere that you potentially have a setup to run Tech Vegito, you basically want to do it. The only thing that really gets that guy is just being locked in slot 1. Otherwise, Tech Vegito is going to hold it down for you really well. But I think Power Beyond Super Saiyan is a decent setup for him. And it's only a matter of time to kind of see where things are going to go with that. So the last team I want to talk about today is Earth Protecting Heroes. This is going to blend into Fused Fighters and like all of those other teams as well. That is the one sort of thing right now with the game, is just these teams do blend in a lot together right now. So Tech Vegito as your leader, obviously, and then you're going to easily be able to take care of your GT hero setup right here, because you have this guy, you could run Vegeta, and then you could run this guy right here, and then this guy. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then for 6 and 7, I would probably run, who would I run here? Be Super Saiyan 4 Goku, more than likely, and then if you need short event, I'd run Beast Gohan. I think AGL Gogeta can be ran in a pinch. Right now, I'm not really the biggest fan of this character, just based on the way that content is. Because if we go to events, right, this will all tie into the best. How the hell is this? I don't know how this. I'm like nowhere near as good with this website as I am with Dokkan info. Just trying different things. But if we go over here and we go to special battle, right, none of these are long fights, and it becomes an issue because they all hit super hard right away. Goku Black and Zamasu is still the hardest fight in the game, right? AGL Gogeta doesn't really hold up that well in here. Stage 2. This is probably where you can get away with running AGL Gogeta the most, but he's still getting torched by a super if you don't use the Ghost Usher, right? Stage 3, same thing. Omega can lock. He gets put in slot 1. Your run's over. And then stage 4, we may know where the supers are at, but they still hit too hard for AGL Gogeta to really be taking it in the Vegeta form, right? So it ends up being a bit of an issue with this particular setup because of the fact that the content isn't really catered towards his kit right now, because he does not have those defensive bells and whistles compared to other characters, where some form of damage reduction is basically a must at this point, and his damage reduction is not that crazy. It's not, I believe it's non-existent in his base form when he is right here. So we look right here, yeah, no damage reduction in the passive. So he is in a really tough spot, because you have to get to turn 5 and then turn into Gogeta for him to really have like that defensive setup that you want, because you're going to be getting extra damage reduction, 80% if you get 4 rainbow orbs with this guy. It's very easy to create those rainbow orbs, and so the fact that you have to wait to turn 5 to get the damage reduction with this guy is a bit of a pain in the ass. But if we look at this version of Goku over here, it's a little bit, we go right here, right, with Goku, you have like the Ghost Usher that could potentially protect you, but again, the damage reduction is still not there. So it's like, offensively, he's fine, but defensively, I think he could be a little, like, he's just not good for the current content. In the 10th anniversary events, it was fine because he had all of the offense to kind of boot, and then the defense he didn't really need as much till later on, which at the point where you needed it, you already had it. But that is not the case in the current meta that we're in, where all these events are going about 5 to 6 turns, and you don't really get to use Gogeta that often. And if you do, you had to get a little bit lucky to get there in the first place, because these guys can just get tagged so easily. So that is one thing to keep in mind with Earth Protecting Heroes and AGL Gogeta right now. I think it just does make for a bit of an interesting spot. But Really, some of these other teams are just okay. I think Battle of Fate you can get away with, but the problem is just the leader right now. I'm not really trying to run Goku and Frieza, especially two of them, and I'm definitely not trying to run two of the blue boys, so I'd probably stay away from that team, but there is just a lot of overlap with all of these categories. That's what makes it kind of beautiful, right? But kind of a sleeper team that I think you low-key could have some fun with is Final Trump Card, bro. Run Tien as a leader, and then you have G4, and then this guy, and then if we look around, we just need to find one more. This is where Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta's EZA is actually going to be really clutch for us, because we're going to have that extra oomph, if you will, if I could find him, right? Because he would be able to fit on Final Trump Card as well, and then you would just get to have some fun and use Tien, right? Because with Final Trump Card, you could run Tien, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta right here. You have the gods, you've got Tech Vegito, you got AGL Gogeta, you got Tech Gotenks. I think this team is just fun, right? The Blue Boys. I would give this team a try and let me know how it is down below. I think that would be a pretty fun team. So overall, the top three that I'd be running this guy on right now would be GT Heroes, Fused Fighters, and probably Power Beyond Super Saiyan or Giant. No, excuse me. The top three: number one, Fused Fighters; number two, GT Heroes; number three, Giant Ape Power. Those would be the three best teams and the most teams with the most synergy right now for this character. But let me know down below what you guys are running him on. Do you have him at this point? And if you enjoyed this one, let me know down below in the comments. I appreciate your time. Thank you for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you were new, so that way you don't miss out on any of my Dokkan content. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.